What's going on, everybody? Mike Staley here with the Obsession Podcast.
Carl Betke with you.
Hey, we've got a question that come in here today, Carl. A few people have asked us about scrape size and rub size, and rubs on different size trees, scrapes and that.
Yep.
Does that mean it's a big deer, little deer? How can you tell?
Well, I have my own opinions on that because
I would love to hear.
Oh, would you?
I would.
All right. Well, we'll start it out with no. Good call. Thanks for the question.
All right. Next week, no.
Does the scrape size or the rub size on a tree designate the size of the deer that put it there? My answer, like I said, is no, it does not. The only big scrapes, that I see, big scrapes, are community. Yeah. And that's more than one deer hitting it, and they're just coming in from different angles, and they're just gradually adding to it as they go. And they will come in there, whether it be does, and don't ever fool yourself, because I've seen does work scrapes.
Yeah.
And right now, here in Wisconsin, it's November 1st, I've got pictures of does working scrapes. And licking branches and our mock scrapes and
I have
all that.
I have a lot of does right now on camera on the branches.
Yep, and they're peeing in the scrapes and they're letting the bucks know where they are.
Yep.
So if you catch does peeing in scrapes, 9 times out of 10 they're close to their estrus cycle.
Yep.
So,
And the size thing.
yeah.
This is all I'll say, because I agree with what you said 100%. This is one thing I'll say that we like about scrapes. When scrapes go down and you start getting lines in them, it's a good time. If you can hunt somewhere on that line, they're freshening them up.
Yes.
They're following that pretty much that same path.
Yep.
A lot of times we've seen, if you look maybe somewhere not too far from there, you might have a rub line that follows that.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people miss. They see, because a scrape is so easy to see on the ground.
Yeah.
You can find rub lines too. They're gonna be there somewhere.
That is, that's correct. And rub lines, people always ask, is it designating, rub lines, is it always designating line of movement? No. I mean, a lot of people, I used to think when I first started hunting that, the rub's on a certain size of a tree, or side of a tree, not size of a tree, certain side of a tree, he's going back to bed. Okay. Well, that's not necessarily true. Maybe he's in a transition area, and for some reason something got him a little excited or whatever, and he wants to post it. So he's going to rub on it. Now, here's the other part about a rub too. A lot of guys will say there's more rubs closer to his bedding. I found that to be not true. I've seen some rubs close to bedding, but I've seen some rubs and got pictures of the same deer, randomly just making rubs. Mature deer, when you first start seeing rubs in the, early part of the season or whatever, it's usually a mature deer. Or somebody who thinks he's dominant.
Yeah.
And every buck in the woods thinks he's down at the beginning of the season.
In the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Now it's November 1st.
Yeah, they learn.
Yeah, and the dominance part is really taking precedence. Very seldom at this time of year do I see mature deer rubbing, unless they're ticked off, and then they're just tearing something up because they are PO'd.
Yes.
Now, does a big deer always pick a big tree? No way. I've watched huge deer rub on little willow wisps and whatever and just tear them.
2-inch diameter trees.
Yeah.
Branches and brush.
Yep.
I don't care.
Nope.
I don't care. I've watched little bucks rub on huge trees.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, people are thinking that they're putting their head around that tree.
Yeah.
They're not normally putting their head around the tree. They're just side to side. They like to be able to get into the center of the tree.
Yes.
So if you got a tree that's, 4 feet around, I don't think that, the buck's rubbing that with the center of his head. And it could be something that gets hit every year.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I do know that does kind of designate what kind of rack you're looking at on a deer is the height of the rub. The taller or higher up the tree is, as long as it's not a tree that bends way over like willow branches and stuff like that, where they can get them bent down and just rip them to pieces. If you get a good 2-inch tree and it's rubbed 48 inches to 60 inches up, that's a big deer.
Yeah, most likely. That's for sure.
Because he's got tine length. That's how he gets up that high.
Yep.
You know, and that's the one truth that I know about rubs,
Yep.
is from watching deer and whatever, if they're taller and they're up in the air quite a ways, that's usually a bigger deer.
Yeah. I will say this too, that in my opinion, is a false thing. People are always like, well, is there a print in the scrape? Just because there's a print in the scrape doesn't mean it's a buck's print.
No.
You know, and does have some big hoof prints that they will lay down.
Yeah.
You know, which is a whole other talk,
Yeah.
because you can define one from the other.
That's true also.
They do lay their prints down different.
Yes.
It is true. So a big print in there, unless you know how to read it, doesn't necessarily mean it's a buck.
Well, I mean, how many times have we actually filmed a mature doe, and I mean a big,
Yeah.
you know, a 5-6-year-old doe, come in, get to that scrape, and she'll do her thing with her tongue and everything on the mock scrape or whatever else, and she'll go bonk with her front right hoof or left hoof, and then she'll walk around that and walk away.
Yep.
Any person without a lot of experience or whatever would look at that and go, that's a pretty good buck. Well, here it's a 5-6-year-old doe.
Yeah, it's a pretty good doe that you'll probably never kill.
Well, yeah, that's highly likely
Yeah,
also.
she's smart.
Yeah, yeah. But and then back to the size of the scrape. I've watched mature deer make a scrape. You know, I ain't not kidding you, like 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet.
Just a couple paws on the
Yeah,
ground,
dum,
walk
dum,
away.
dum, dum.
Yeah.
That's good. I've watched them even walk up and not pee in a scrape.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see that a lot. Well, we've talked about it before, you know, where a big mature deer, he'll come in and he'll sniff that line, and then he'll run his head around it so
Yep.
he doesn't even touch it.
Go around it.
And I've got great video of that. I'll show that to you guys here too.
We've had two. We had here, I think it was last year, we had one. He hit that vine the very first time he was on it. The rest of the year he walked around it.
Yeah,
He
he
never touched it again.
come
walked
through
there.
and he'd smell.
Yep, but he went right around it.
His scent was there already. He
Yeah.
didn't have to hit it
He
again.
was good.
Yep.
So I think it's, to judge deer that way, I don't think you can
No.
so much. I mean, if there's scrapes there,
Yeah.
there's probably a buck,
Yeah.
around. So obviously, I know we've had success hunting scrape lines,
Of course. Yes.
rub lines. If that's part of the question, that's what I would tell you.
Yeah.
You get a nice scrape line and they're getting freshened up. If it rains,
Yes.
it's a great time to be out there on scrape line.
Big time.
They will freshen them up again, so that there's a little key there for you.
Yeah. I mean, you guys remember, just if you're going to hunt a scrape line, you're going to hunt a scrape or a rub line, scrape line together. You always want to set up downwind of it.
Yes.
You want to be downwind of it, but realize you want to be within probably 20-25 yards of it, because either they're going to come along it, but a big mature buck, if he's checking scrapes, is going to come 20 to 40 yards downwind of it,
Yeah,
and he's going to scent check it. And that's a pretty big deal. We shot quite a few of our bucks doing that,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, it rained, we got this set, it's downwind 20-25 yards, and they come right to us.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good tactic this time of year if you guys are checking that. This time of year, like we said, it's November 1st here in southern Wisconsin. Those does are checking scrapes, well, the bucks are checking those scrapes too, but downwind 20, 25, 30 yards. So remember that. You guys don't want to be sitting directly over the top of that scrape. So, just a little hint. Hopefully it'll work out for you to get a chance to go
Correct.
on a scrape line, rub line, something like that. But I think we kind of answered that one
I
pretty
think so.
decently.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys asking the questions. Hopefully that was a good enough answer for you. I mean, that's how we see things. We've been pretty successful doing that for quite a few years. If you guys get a chance, if you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the Reaper in the lower right-hand corner of the video here. Clink. And then if you want to listen to the podcast, you can listen to it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast. Our main feed is RSS.com. And if you have any questions for us, we appreciate all the questions you guys get. Want us to answer a couple of those? We're more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. Thanks for listening.
Positive comments, negative comments, keep them coming.
Yeah.
We're just normal guys here trying to help everybody out, so we appreciate everybody following us and the questions.
Oh,
Good luck out there.
another thing too, if you guys want to check us out on Instagram too, we're on Instagram now at Rush Outdoors WI at Instagram, and we appreciate that. Obviously, the handle now, if you guys have been watching YouTube too, we got to throw this out. It's a new thing with YouTube. It's handles now. Handles. Basically named. So that our handle is Rush Outdoors on YouTube. So you can check us out there.
You got that?
You got that! We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a good weekend. Good luck out there. We'll see you guys later.
Out.